So, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning and welcome to the class. And today we are going to talk about educational psychology, as today's class is the first class of Introduction to Educational Psychology course. And as you can see, my name and my designation. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, let's see what is the definition of educational psychology. You can take notes, no problem, but no photographs please, because I'll be serving this thing to you via online. So you do not need to take any picture, okay? Okay, so definition, scope. The definition, educational psychology is the scientific study, most important things, scientific study of how individuals mean human beings, human individuals, learn and develop within educational setting. Do you know what does that mean, setting? What? Classroom. Place, that's right. Setting means where the whole happening set in. Setting is set in. Whereas this whole thing is set in, which is setting. Okay. So educational settings, that mean classrooms, even outside the classrooms maybe, where a teacher is there and some students are there. Even that could be the place of a canteen maybe. Okay, so it examines the process of learning. Basically, it examines the process of learning, teaching, and the factors that affect them. So there are some factors maybe. By stating this whole thing, we can say there are some factors which is affecting teaching and learning, which is basically a reciprocal thing. That means I'll give it to you and you will respond accordingly, isn't it? That's right. Okay, so that's the definition, and you can find more definitions to from any other else, but I will give you some references, some reference book names later on that slides. Okay, so the field and the scope. Now we are talking about the scope. Okay, the field integrates knowledge from various psychological disciplines. It basically blends some psychological things in or within or with the educational purpose. So what is our behind of our psychology? Why we study? How we study? These are some questions that could be answered by the end of this course, and we will be able to do that, inshallah. Okay, inshallah. That's right, good. Okay, so the field integrates knowledge from various psychological disciplines to enhance means make increase. Okay, so to enhance teaching methods. So we will be talking about some teaching methods. Create effective learning environment. Effective learning environment means not only in setting. Hey, just think about one thing, that if there's no AC and there's no fan and it's scorching hot in midsummer, so can we be able to sit down here without sweating, and can we be able to learn my language or learn my class effectively? Can it be effective teaching? So environment lies within the setting of the classroom and within the psychology. Just assume some of us, or all of us, just assume all of us have not done their breakfast today. So even I have done my breakfast just now so that I can deliver you the speech, isn't it? If I have not done that, so where could I gain some gaining of my energy? Where could I find my energy? So it's not only the setting related purpose, it's basically within your psychology. It's basically interpersonal. It's called both interpersonal and intrapersonal. That means it is for all of us and for within myself also. Okay, So effective learning environments deals with two most important things, that which is, first of all, it is within me, that am I capable enough, am I willing to know enough that I have to go and have to learn something new, and if the setting is helping me to carry that out. So it's both way. Okay. And understand students' behavior. Yes, that basically falls under the roof of behaviorism, which we'll talk about later. Okay. Let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, importance in education. Why this course is important and what is its purpose in education. Let's talk about that. Okay, the first point, provides educators with evidence-based strategies. Most important things, evidence-based strategies. It is an evidence-based study, that's why we call it a science. It's not some assume, okay? It's not something we assume or we presume. It's something that is evident. So evidence are always been there, okay? Yes, that's right. Okay, evidence strategies, and there are some strategies also to make learning effective. Okay, to improve teaching practices and cater to diverse learning needs. Basically, we are the learners. We all have our various needs. We are all of us are not the same. Maybe he can learn in a certain way that she cannot learn, or maybe she can learn in a certain way that he cannot even learn, isn't it? Yes. So we have to think about every diverse situations, and this course will help us to do that. Okay. Then number 2, facilitates the development of tailored instruction. Do you know tailored? I mean tailored. Tailored means a tailor. Yes, that's curtailed. Curtailed, that means a piece of cloth is being shaped by a tailor. We all know that. So in the same way, it is tailored instruction. That means shaped. Okay, shaped instructional methods that support student achievement and well-being. So basically, we are doing some new things that will shape the students' behavior and educational policies, so that they will be benefited. Okay, and they will, for their well-being. Okay, and the third part is assist in identifying learning challenges and implementing. Hey, most important thing. Learning challenges. No matter how good we are, no matter how willing we are, we will always find some challenges. We will always find some challenges, but this course is basically dealing with that also. Okay? This course basically is dealing with that also, that if any challenge occurs, then what should we do? This course will make us answer that question also. Okay. And implementing, not only finding the answers of the challenges, but implementations also occurring there, implementing interventions for effective learning. Most important thing, the learning should be effective. Yes, that's right, the learning should be effective. Nowadays, the UGC approved OBE syllabus is going on everywhere. OBE, do you know what does that mean, OBE? So that's very recent. Yeah, that's very recent. That's maybe not likely to know you, but OBE means outcome-based education. So basically, our government and UGC has approved that we should make our learners, our university graduates, we should make them learn in OBE syllabus, outcome-based learning. Why? Because nowadays they have shown that our university graduates are really good learners, really good educators. Maybe they have learned a lot, they knows a lot, but they are not factory ready. Most important thing, the word, this is new. Factory ready. Please mind my handwriting, it's not that good. Okay, so the learners are not factory ready. That means we have factories. Factories means industry. We all have industry. There's food chain industry, there's garment industry, there's many more. You name it, they have it, okay? Many more industries are there, but our students are not likely to have that potential. I mean, not potentials, we have the potentials. They do not have that certain amount of skills to go and fit in that industry, isn't it? We have learned one thing in our universities and then we have to do another thing in the factory work. That's right. No matter which factory you are, whether you could be in telecommunication industry, whether you could be in food chain industry, whether you could be in whatever, yeah, that's right, government factory or government industry, no problem. But we are not ready enough. So our UGC and our government is trying to implement the OBE syllabus, outcome-based education, so that we will make our learners be ready for the factories, for the industry. Okay? So that's a new educational system now. So effective learning. We were at the effective learning, and that's how effective learning works. We will make you ready for the effectiveness, and we will study that much which is needed, not more, not less. Okay? Okay, so next slide please. So theories of learning. Now this course basically offering us some theories, and we have to learn that. There are main 3 theories we will be covering, maybe inshallah, and then if you feel overburdened, do not feel overburdened please, because if we cannot make all of these happen, we will curtail. We can curtail anytime, no problem. So there are 3 theories of learning. It's worldwide. First of all, behaviorism, then the constructivism, and then the social learning theory. You can take a note, no problem of that. Okay, behaviorism. Let's talk about behaviorism. Key figures: Ivan Pavlov, maybe, yeah, Skinner and Pavlov. Maybe this gentleman is from Russia, maybe, I don't know. Okay, so Pavlov and Skinner's behaviorism it basically focuses on, emphasizes observable and measurable aspects of learning. That means your learning can be observed and can be measured. It can be observed. It's not something like abstract. No, it's not abstract. It could be measurable. It is concrete. We know the antonym of abstract is concrete. Yes, we know that. So it's not the education you are getting is not basically abstract. It is something that we can measure and observable. That's right. Okay, and then it basically this whole behaviorism thing focuses on that particular thing. Okay, then classical conditioning by Pavlov. Pavlov is saying that learning through association demonstrated by the condition response experiments with dogs. Well, he said it with dogs. It's an example, but the main thing is association and demonstrated by condition response. Condition response. The most important thing in this line is condition response. Let me give you an example. Maybe you know that. Okay, let me talk about that for you now. So there's a study which is said that there's a bunch of dogs. Okay, there's a bunch of dogs at a certain place. So a person who basically looks after the dog, he rings a bell for food time. Okay, so whenever he rings a bell, then the dog came to him. And then he will offer dogs food. Okay, so some scientists have actually said or examined that, okay, how dogs' behavior changes within the ring of the bell. So okay, there's a direct connection between food and our saliva. We know that, our saliva, because anytime the food is in front of us, then our brain basically creates a saliva within our mouth. Okay, in Bengali we call it lala. We call it lala. So it basically creates the saliva, our brain. So there's a direct relationship between the food and the saliva, but there's no relationship between a bell ring and a saliva. But some scientists have studied their behavior, the dog's behavior, and they know that even if there's no food, only after the bell rang, the dog started keeping saliva. Okay, why? Because it is in their behavior. They know, it's in their preoccupational mind that, so we will have some food now. The bell rang and we will have some food now. So their brain, the dog's brain, created a saliva. So in this behavior they have studied, and they said even if there's no direct connection between two behaviors, that could be connected by a third separate behavior also. So this could be an argument that we will try this in our educational policies to enhance our learning behavior. Okay, even if there's no direct connection between the bell and the saliva, because nobody actually they are not creating the saliva for the bell, but they are creating the saliva for the food that will be offered. Okay, so there's no connection, but there's something connection between them. So basically Pavlov has said that thing. Okay, the classical conditioning, that's the oldest one. Okay, operant conditioning by Skinner, B.F. Skinner, have said that learning through reinforcement and punishment, which shape behavior, it's the most important thing, shape behavior by using positive and negative stimuli. Okay, for example, how many of you have cats? How many of you have cats within your houses? Okay, maybe one or two. Okay, do you know there's a term called potty training for cats? Okay, so basically operant conditioning happens there. How we train our cats? Can you say how we train our cats? Okay, how we train our cats, let me say, we first reinforce something. If a cat does potty here and there, we punish them by slapping, isn't it? We punish them by slapping or not giving the food. But if the cat does the potty within the toilet or the assigned place, then we will give the cat some food. So in that reason, the cat knows, okay, if I just potty here and there, they will punish me, they will stop my food. But if I do in an exact way, they will prize. They will give me some surprise. They will give me some gift, isn't it? So that's called positive and negative stimuli. And the reinforcement. Reinforcement means doing something again and again and again. Okay. So by doing that, we actually the cat actually trained itself, and then without even giving some punishment, or without even giving some, after some days, without even giving some punishments or without even giving some prizes, the cat will do the potty in the same direction that the cat is assigned to. Isn't it? That's how basically it works. Okay, so operant conditioning by Skinner is that simple. Basically that's an example. We will assign you some books and then we will discuss it further. Okay, applications in education. Reinforcement schedules to promote desired student behaviors and discourage undesired actions. Right? We all know that if you talk in the class, then the teacher will be angry and then the teacher will punish you. We all know that. So that's a negative reinforcement. But the positive reinforcement is if you study in the class and do not talk and be attentive, then the teacher will praise you. We all want praises, isn't it? Yes. So that's basically application is education. That's quite an easiest one. Okay. So next, constructivism. Piaget, John Piaget's theory. Let's talk about that. Basically, constructivism focuses on highlights the learners actively construct their understanding through experience. So basically it's construct mean we know construction of building, so basically construction of our behavior, just like that. Okay, highlights the learners actively construct their understanding through experiences. So how we construct? Through our experiences. Okay, Piaget's concept is stages of cognitive development, sensory motor. Basically, we will talk about some later slides. There are some developments of 4 stages of development. First one is sensory motor, then the pre-operational, then the concrete operational, then the formal operational. Okay, indicating that learning occurs as children pass through different stages. We will talk about some slides later. Okay, Vygotsky's concept. Vygotsky's concept is important. The zone of proximal development, ZPD or ZPD, which emphasizes learning through social interaction and scaffolding. Do you know scaffolding? Okay, scaffolding basically, civil engineer. Have you ever studied any civil engineering thing? Okay, scaffolding is something, an outside support. An outside support. We know for our construction, we give roofs when it is not hard enough, the support with bamboo. Yes. We all know that. That's called scaffolding. Okay, an outside support which will be removed after some time. An outside support which will be removed after some time. Okay. So basically, through social interaction and through scaffolding, we learn new things. We gain our behavior. We construct our behavior. That's why it's called constructivism, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So, application in education, inquiry-based learning, collaborative activities, and hands-on project. Basically, these are the group projects and group studies, because group studies actually helps us. Actually, group studies really help us to some extent. Okay, so by group studying, we actually, what do? We actually infer the meaning of other person, we communicate with each other, and then that helps us to construct our own behavior in learning, isn't it? Okay, the social learning theory, which is told by Albert Bandura, then it actually focuses on, suggests that learning takes place through observation, imitation, and modeling. So learning takes place through observation. First, we observe. Not only as a child, we basically observe as an adult also. The first space of learning starts with observation. We know, we learn, we listen, we hear the sounds, the actions. We watch, observe, in a sense. Okay, then imitate. Then we imitate. Then we try to do that what we already seen. What we already seen, we try to do that. Maybe some of you can try in a certain way. Maybe copy. That's right. Maybe copy, or maybe imitate. We should say copy is not an academic word, but imitation is an academic word. Okay, so imitation and modeling. Modeling means to find a role model, or to find a model which I can follow properly. Okay, so basically education helps in these way. Basically it turns in these way. First observation, then imitation, then the modeling. Okay, the core concept of social learning theory is the importance of observational learning and the role of models in influencing behavior. So role model is important. Which role model are you following will construct your behavior in that way. Which role model are you following? They will construct your behavior in that way. Let me give you an example. Okay, some of you may know singing. Some of you may know singing. Okay, maybe someone's role model is Sabina Yasmin, and some other one's role model is maybe Taylor Swift. So both of them are great singers, no doubt on that, but both of them basically sings in different genres. So the role model you are keeping, the genre basically you are keeping also. So if your role model is Taylor Swift, then you can never learn to sing, or it would be very hard you to sing like Sabina Yasmin, and vice versa. Okay, so social learning, because we are learning through our society and through our there's a word which is our communal mindset. Okay, our whole community and communal mindset is basically giving the shape of ourselves in such ways. Okay, so self-efficacy is one of the most important things of social learning theory, and self-efficacy is a belief in one's ability to succeed Bandura introduced this as a critical component that impacts motivation and learning. Well, that's the most important thing from this slide, because by learning social theory, basically we have to do something is called extrovertism. Okay, if we are not extrovert enough, then how can we measure our improvement? If we are introvert, we do not talk, we are very shy enough, then how could we learn by our society? Maybe they will shape us, but we can never say that they are shaping us in very much this way. Okay, so extrovertism, introvertism basically always play a role in this theory. Okay, so ability success is critical components, motivation and confidence basically plays a vital role on that theory. If you are not confident enough, then maybe your learning could not exceed too much or so much or that much that you want. Okay, the application is education. So why we are learning social learning theory? Use of role models, peer learning and demonstration. See, use of role models, because maybe I can see, I can watch your video, I can make you watch a video of maybe some British learners to learn pronunciation. That's called role modeling. And then maybe peer learning, maybe I can make some groups so you will understand within each other. Okay, some of you may have better learning position, some of you may have no learning position, but altogether you will be finding a common way to discuss. So that will help a lot. That basically actually helps a lot, isn't it? And then demonstration. Demonstration means that I'm demonstrating you some things, okay? So you are basically learning from me also, isn't it? I'm demonstrating you the lectures, okay? So the social learning theory is gone, then what's next? Okay, cognitive development. So basically cognitive development has two parts. Piaget's stages of cognitive development, which we talked earlier, but now we will talk elaborately. Okay, and then information processing theory. Okay, let's go to that. So Piaget's stages of cognitive development. See, okay, you can take a note of that. That's the most important thing. One of the most important thing for today's class. Sensory motor stage. There are 4 stages. I have said. First one is sensory motor stage, then the pre-operational stage, then the concrete operational stage, then the formal operational stage. So throughout these 4 stages of our lifespan, we basically learn. Throughout these 4 stages, and these 4 stages every stage has its own capacity and its own features. Okay, so through these 4 stages, human being basically learns. Okay, the first stage is 0 to 2 years. The sensory motor stage, when the knowledge of the world is limited, very sensory. Sensory means sensible, only touch, tactile, just sensations only. Okay, so limited to sensory experiences and motor activities. Motor activities means muscle memory. Hands, legs are throwing here and there. So motor activity, that means movement. Okay, so key milestones, object permanence. So by this stage we are learning some objects. This is hard, this could do harm for me. Mother is good, she feed me, so she's a great lady. Okay, we do not know by now what is father's role, what is mother's role, but a lady who feed me, it's really nice, isn't it? Okay, then the pre-operational stage from 2 to 7 years. Okay, development of language. So by that age, a children learns how to use the language. Very limited. They cannot use the language in a whole way, but very limited. Though it's very limited, they can use that. Okay. So development of language and symbolic thinking, but characterized by egocentrism and difficulty with logical reasoning. So basically, egocentrism means they actually only is thinking about themselves, isn't it? Basically, children are thinking about only themselves. They do not care what is otherwise going on, what is the father's doing, the mother's doing, or anyone. They just think about themselves, so egocentric, and then there's no logical reasoning. They will tell you, okay, buy me that toy, buy me that toy, buy me that toy, and even if it's not good for him or her, they will actually tell you that continuously, even if maybe some children could see a cigar is smoking by an adult, and then they will tell you that, okay, I want to smoke, but that's not good for them. So there's no logical reasoning. Okay, and from 7 to 11 years, concrete operational stage. Concrete operational stage. Yeah, that's right. So logical thinking develops. Now, logical thinking develops. You know why? Because that's the age they're basically studying class 1, 2, or 3. So the teachers are very rude and they force them to think logically. They force them to think logically, isn't it? Isn't it that the stage where a person or a child basically goes to school regularly? So the teachers are already blamed. Okay, no problem of that. Okay, the logical thinking develops for the teachers maybe. Okay, with the ability to perform operations on concrete objects. By that time, they have the ability to operational work on concrete objects. Okay, and understanding concepts such as conservation and conservation. It's not conversation. It's conservation and reversibility. Conservation means something we should conserve, and there are some things that is not like me. A boy can think at that stage, well, she's a girl, she's not like me. So diversity is accepted by that age, at least to some extent, isn't it? At least to some extent. So there are some difference between that girl and me, because I wear a pant and she wears a frock or a skirt. That's right. Yeah. So
is it like observation?
Maybe it is for observation. It is the result of observation. Maybe the observational motivation is creating within his head or her head, isn't it? Okay. So the understanding concept. See, there's the answer of your question. Understanding concept and conservation and reversibility. Okay, then the formal operational stage, age 12 and plus, and we are now in here. Ability to think abstractly. Now we can think abstract. Abstract things is love, hatred, loss, win, gain, lose, everything. So from 12 years and onwards, we can have some dealings with abstract ideas. Okay, just like democracy. Okay, everything abstractly, reasons logically, maybe, well, I do not know whether we are logical enough or not, and use deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning means, so AC is going on, that's why there is cold. Yeah, that's called deductive reasoning. It's not like that's, here is cold, that means AC is going on. I mean, upside down, that's right, okay. Okay, information processing theory, and another theory, and this analogy is, compares, hey everyone please, compares human cognition to computer processing. So basically he is saying, there is a processor within our mind. In simple words, there is a processor in our mind, like the computer. We process information, then we do the outputs. Just as simple as that. Okay, let's see. Compares human cognition to computer processing, how information is input, processed, stored, retrieved, output, all of these. Okay, key concept, encoding. That means you will say something and then, I'll be delivering something with an encode, and you will hear and decode. I'll say, let's go, and this is an encoding concept, and you will say, okay, sir is maybe telling to me, let's go to the washroom, or let's go to the canteen. Okay. So storage, encoding, storage, maintaining the information, and retrieval, recalling the stored information. We all have our recollecting memory. Okay, so basically this that deals with our recollecting memory. Application in education. Why it's important in education, please? Techniques such as chunking, mnemonics. Chunking, we all know. Mnemonics. Do you know mnemonics? Do you know mnemonics or mnemonics? We all have heard one thing. Chaniko maniko gono banijolo bono mono benu bona kongono kunika, isn't it? Oka ojo ona ar an ab iti unukadukuni patibi borram shashashuha, isn't it? So these are the basically mnemonics. The first some words, and we do it as a poetry. Okay? And rehearsal to improve our reiteration. So basically what I have said, I have to rehearse it multiple times, isn't it? Okay, the focus of metacognition. Metacognition, beyond cognition. Meta means beyond. Okay, metacognition. Cognition means cognitive. Cognitive means abstract ideas which is stored in our mind. Okay, awareness and regulation in one's own cognitive process encourages students to plan, monitor, and evaluate their learning strategies. That means basically we are making learners autonomous. Okay, the learners will learn in an autonomic way that they will be able to encourage themselves and monitor themselves and evaluate their learning strategies by their own selves, and teacher will help also, isn't it? Okay. Okay, thank you. So that's all for today, and as today is our first class, so that's